Hello, fellow duelists. This is Shadow of the Moon, and tonight I'm going to be doing a updated deck profile of my Blackwing deck from the Edison format. I am currently waiting on the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list to drop, so that way I can kind of figure out and go from there. And depending on what cards are going to be banned and everything, because King Calamity is on the chopping block, and Beatrice is on the chopping block. My wife actually has a Burning Abyss deck, so that is definitely going to have to greatly affect her. But I wanted to do a deck profile that you don't have to worry about the ban list because it's already set in stone, is the Blackwing Edison. Blackwings are very, very popular in the Edison format, and as such, obviously, it's great to be able to actually play with this deck because, Blackwings were really, really ahead of their time. They were doing so much work during this era of Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2010, but my deck is going to be a little bit different. I added a little bit of spice to it and a little bit of change. So because I don't really go to tournaments, especially with Edison, so the only person I play with is literally my wife, and I do keep up with different deck ideas and everything. But you're going to see this deck is going to be a little bit different. So, all right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into it. Now, the monster lineup pretty much is standard in a Blackwing deck. You got 3 Sirocco. So Sirocco is, this card is kind of like a Cyber Dragon, where it can be normal summoned if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. And also, it allows you to select a face-up Blackwing monster on the field and increase that monster's attack or this one's attack based on the total combined level of the Blackwing that you selected. So if you have like a Boar of the Spear, you can make it, if you have a lot of Blackwings on the field, you can make it a ridiculous attack power and then swing over and deal piercing damage. Also, you can do that to any other Blackwing. This is a very, very good card, in my opinion. And then we've got 3 copies of Shore the Blue Flame. Shore is a great tech card in this deck because when it destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can special summon a Blackwing monster with 1500 or less attack to your side of the field, which is really good for going into synchro summoning because since this is obviously synchroing and everything, you're going to be using this. And plus, 1800 attack is really not bad for that. And then we've got 3 Bora the Spear. Bora shines so brightly in this format because Bora is really good because if you control a Blackwing monster other than the Boar of the Spear, you can special summon this card from your hand, and this is not a once per turn, so you can special summon this card from your hand, and then it obviously does piercing damage. It has 1700, but if you use like Sharaka the Dawn, that's going to increase it to 3700, so yeah, it's a really, really good card. And then 3 copies of Kalut the Moonshadow, which is essentially the Blackwing hand trap. As you can see here, I got a German one, but Kalut, basically, during you or your opponent's turn, you can drop this card. Your Blackwing monster's attack will gain 1400 attack, so it's a great little tech card to go in there. And then 3 Blizzard the Far North. The Blizzard is good because if this card is normal summoned, you can select a level 4 lower Blackwing monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this is an easy way to go into your synchro summons. And then those are all the 3 of. So now I only play 2 of 1 ofs. So you've got Gale and you've got Vayu. So Gale was limited to 1 in this format, but it's really good because it's just like Bora with its not once per turn. And Vayu is really good because Vayu allows you to synchro summon from the graveyard. The reason I cut this though to 1 is this card can be incredibly bricky if you open multiple copies in your hand. This is a card that you don't really want to see in your hand. This is more of a card that you want to start using Shura because this card has no effect and you cannot use it as synchro summon when it is face up on the field. It only works if it's in the graveyard. So that is the object, is for you to be able to use its effectively in the graveyard. So that's why I more or less just want this card special summon using Shura if need be. Alright, so that's going to be it for the Blackwing. So I do run 16 Blackwings, or 17 Blackwings. So then we've got the Dark-Armed Dragon, obviously, and we've got Goras for your hand trap. So Dark-Armed Dragon is really easy to bring out in this deck because this deck is a dark deck. And then Goras is a great hand trap because if your opponent attacks you directly, you can drop this big boy and you can make your monster you can make a token that has the same attack as the one that attacked you, which is very useful because Goras in and of itself has 2700 attack. That's very hard to get over. Alright, so that's going to be it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells and traps. So obviously we've got 2 copies of Black Whirlwind because it was semi-limited. So you get 2 copies. This is kind of the bread and butter of the deck. 1 copy of Allure of Darkness, obviously, so because Allure was limited to 1. one copy of Heavy Storm, and I do not play MSD, I play Giant Trunade because I like the field wipe. I like being able to get rid of everything on my opponent's side of the field, so I prefer to play Giant Trunade and Heavy Storm. It's kind of the card destruction. And then for the control, you've got Brain and Mind Control. I like using Mind Control. It works because you take control of your opponent's monster, and you don't have to pay life points, and it also makes it to where you can use it as a Synchro Summon, which is the main purpose of the deck, just kind of like Brain Control. Just remember, though, that during the Mind, and when you're playing Mind Control, you cannot attack with that, so you're mainly using it to Synchro Summon. So that's going to be it for the spells. Edison did not have a lot of spells mostly just because it was a very trap-heavy format. So first, we're going to have triple Icarus Attack. Icarus Attack is so good in this deck. Icarus Attack makes it to where you can select a Blackwing monster, or you can select a Winged Beast, destroy it, and then destroy 2 cards your opponent controls. 2 cards. That can be either backfield or monsters. This is a really good attack card. That's why you got to run 3 in the deck, especially if you're playing a Winged Beast deck. And then you got 2 Bottomless Trap Holes. Really good. Standard. 2-dimension prisons, very standard as well, because these are kind of like your back row. These are your battle traps. And then you've got Delta Crow Anti-Reverse. Now I'm going to do the one-ofs. I love this card. It's just fun to be able to play this, because if you control Blackwing monster, you can destroy all face-down spell and traps your opponent controls. And also, if you control 3, exactly 3, you can actually activate this from your hand, so it becomes a hand trap. And then we're going to be playing Torrential Tribute. We're playing Solemn Judgment. We're playing Mirror Force. And then this is my little tech card, because I actually wanted to be able to finally put this in a deck other than the deck that I have for the Go format, is Dark Spirit of the Silent. I thought this is just a really good card. This is actually my favorite trap card of all time. So I'm glad that, that I can actually put this in the deck. Obviously, you do not have to have this in the deck. And then 1 Trap Dust Shoot, and then 1 Jar of Greed. So you're probably wondering where Legacy of Yatagarasu is, and the answer is I don't run Legacy, because I don't really care about that draw power as much, because literally this deck is just meant to be fun, but I did try to make it as competitive as possible without the whole, Legacy. So now we're going to be moving on to the extra deck. So obviously 1 Silverwind, 2 Blackwing Armor Master, and 2 Armed Wings. So this deck does not have Chimera Tech, because my wife doesn't use machine types. She uses a dragon deck, and I really don't have it in there. It becomes like a wasted deck slot. But if I'm playing against other people, obviously you're going to want to side out one of your Armor Masters for the Chimera Tech, because that is like pretty much, that ends up being standard in the deck. Then 1 Mistworm, very easy to bring out, kind of wipes your opponent's field. And then for the level 8s, we've got Colossal Fighter, we've got Dark Thought Roller Archfiend, we've got Dark Arm Dragon, and we've got Stardust Dragon. So a lot of level 8s, a lot of ways to go into these monsters. And then for your level 7, we have your Black Rose Dragon. For your level 6, we have Yugioh Guardian, and we've got Ice Barrier, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. So keep in mind, Yugioh Guardian at this time did not say Earth Tuner, it just said Tuner, 1 or more non-tuner. So you could make this very, very easily, and it was a level 6. And then we've got Magical Android, and we've got, for the level 5, Ally of Justice. So, alright, so that's going to be it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. This deck is just really, really fun. I actually didn't mean for this video to go as long as it did, but this deck is very, very fun. I love being able to use Blackwings in a older format and it be very viable. This is around the time that, in 2009, Blackwings won the Worlds, and, ever since then, they were having to limit it because Blackwing decks were actually considered too good, too powerful, because it was so easy to swarm with the deck. And this deck is just a lot of fun. I do plan on posting up a Blue Eyes Dragon deck for the Edison format. My wife's going to be building one. I'm in the process of working on it and getting ideas. So definitely stay tuned for that. And that's going to be it. So thank you so much for watching. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Later.